So we are back with sex, gender, biology in a social world. We will be doing chapter 1 this episode. Go check out my previous video. It is the preface and the biography of Fausto Sterling, who arguably is primarily responsible for the current LGBTQ plus IA ideology. Now, this book is not free. I think it should be available, but it is not. Currently, this book influences worldwide government policy on LGBTQ issues. My intentions are not to dispel the contents of this book and not break copyright. This is totally fair use. So chapter 1 is titled A Genderless Future, and Miss Fausto starts off with the case of Norrie May-Welby. So who is Norrie May-Welby? Norrie May-Welby is an Australian genderless person. Let's say that. And they were the first person to be legally recognized in Australia as being genderless. And Miss Fausto talks about that struggle that Norrie May-Welby had, getting some sort of legal representation. And that is how Miss Fausto uses her example in this book. But I did a little bit more digging. Here is Norrie May-Welby's interview. I found this on YouTube.
Half of the gift he gives to see ourselves as other seers. So you're asking there essentially, what would I prefer other people to think about me? And they're in charge of that. I'm only in charge of me.
Okay, first off, we are not here to make fun of anybody. No bullying in the comments. And second off, if you go to Matthew 19, this is where Jesus is talking about divorce, and at the end of it, he talks about eunuchs. And eunuchs is an ancient term for somebody that can't get pregnant or even have coitus. They could be infertile as well. It covers a whole range of states of being, including cutting off the member forcibly, like castration. And it includes people that were born that way as well. And the etymology of eunuch is it comes from the Greek, and it literally means bedkeeper, eunuchos, or guardian of the bedchamber. And they were, a lot of the time, the person that guarded over the harem, over a royal harem, because the lack of members to be able to do anything. They were trusted with those types of jobs. So in the ancient society, these people that we might now call transgender are have historically had high ranking roles within society. And this is what the Bible says about eunuchs, or this is what Jesus says about eunuchs and about marriage. It says, Matthew 19:10, the disciples said to him, "If such the case of a man with his wife, is it better not to marry?" But he said to them, "Not everyone can receive this saying," this is Jesus talking, "but only those to whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, sexual abnormality, or gender abnormality. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men." So, they got castrated. "And there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven." So this is celibacy. Let the one who is able to receive it. And so the Bible says it plainly and clearly that these people are people, and Jesus talks about these people, and they serve in his kingdom. So we will not be making fun of anybody based on this thing, okay?
If someone calls me he, they're usually trying to make some pointed remark. Why would you call someone like me he? If I'm wearing a dress, I'm presenting as pretty femme, I'm not a blokey bloke.
So Norrie here touches on a subject about misgendering, and I have to disagree with them on this. If somebody does not know your gender, how can you blame them for assuming something they don't know? They're just making a best guess, and some of them might be trying to get under your skin, but you just don't take it personally. As a man with long hair, I have been called ma'am on multiple occasions, and it never hurts my feelings. I know I am a man, and you might just have gender insecurity, and you might just suffer from general insecurity, right? You might not know security. And I think that's where some of that comes from. A lack of confidence.
I only have one legal name, Norrie. But a lot of people can't get their head around that, so they made up the name Norrie May-Welby. It's a joke, May-Welby, yeah? When I originally dumped the family name, I was being independent, and because gays weren't accepted by straight people then, so I really wanted to, forge an existence outside of the patriarchy, hegemony, standard nuclear family thingo.
So Norrie here talks about not being accepted, and she digs into that a little bit more later on.
I was 7 when I left Scotland, but I was a kid when I arrived in Perth. Well, I was a migrant and had a funny accent. That, I guess, isolated me a little bit initially.
So Norrie here probably went through a life-altering experience and was probably traumatized after it. And that probably led to a insecure relationship with their peers, with Norrie's peers, which led to a road of disastrous, probably people-pleasing behavior.
For a queenie, effeminate bookworm, yeah, I would have probably been driven to suicide. That's what happened to most people like me in those days.
So Norrie here paints the picture of the environment back whenever they grew up. And in the 60s and 70s, these people that didn't really fit in got targeted and got beat up. Some people lost their lives. And, I am glad we do not accept that as a society. That is a good thing. And I am not upset with that. I am glad Norrie is here to be able to tell us their story.
That's when the active filter bashes were going on. Young men would go out and for sport would beat a homosexual to death and get away with it. I think the 1970s in Australia were like that. As a kid, I imagined being various characters. Some of them weren't even human, they were from Krypton. And some of them were male and some of them were female. And I can't imagine being Supergirl because I have a penis. In the same way I didn't think I can't be Supergirl because I don't come from Krypton. I don't have an essential, unchanging view of my gender very often, except maybe when I was on hormones when I was a trainee. Yeah, I heard some sex change proclaiming from on high to a group of young transsexuals, teenagers on hormones, going, if you not have the surgery, then you're just to dress up. You're just wasting your time, just to dress up.
So it is important to note that Norrie here is saying that they felt pressured to have surgery. And in other articles that I've read about them, at one point in their life, I am not sure if it is still current, but they did regret having a sex change surgery. Norrie did undergo that sex change surgery, and she feels negatively about it. They wish they didn't do it. It seems like, I don't know if their mind has changed, or but it seems like they did regret this sex change surgery.
This outside presentation isn't serious, it's not real, you're a transvestite, as if there's a huge difference between someone that's had a sex change and someone that's maybe seen by the rest of the community as a heterosexual man that cross-dresses at weekends. There's a difference of degree, but is there a real difference in quality there? Who's to judge? And say, oh, you're more authentic than you, and your experience is more acceptable than yours.
So this is very interesting to me, because I I think there is a gay agenda, and do you know the expression "give them an inch and they'll take a mile"? I think Norrie here felt othered, ostracized uh, by their peers at a young age, especially. That's whenever uh, things of that nature really form a person at a young age. And I bet they went looking for a community and figured out that the gay community, what we'll call it the gay community, was accepting applicants. And so Nori gave them an inch and took a mile. And I can see this case uh, happening throughout all of their life. And so you see a ramping up of uh, social pressure as you get further into that community to ramp things up.
Huge pressure. So I did it. Had the sex change. I would like a society where people aren't under the same pressures I am, and maybe someone in the same situation will decide to keep their bits or whatever. I want it to be more optional. I don't like the idea that people are pressured to have surgery, to be their normal gender.
I have to agree with Nori on this. Sex changes for the vulnerable are detrimental, uh, especially younger people, children. They should grow up with how God made them. I like this point of view that Nori has. They are not these raging Karen LGBT spewing people. They are just themselves. And we should hold a space for these types of people.
My result, physically, I'm neuter.
Does that mean to you, neuter?
Well, like a pets, they're neutered or spayed. Neuter, it means not one or the other, not either. And I like that idea of not having to say I'm with that class of humans. I'm versus that class of humans. No, I'm not one or the other. I'm part of every group of humans. I may well be. Everyone is a minority of one. We all speak our own languages. And it's important to maintain integrity as an individual without having to identify with a group, without having to judge yourself based on how you compare to someone else. That's not about being yourself. Style is the art of being yourself on purpose.
The book does not mention Miss Norrie's experience. They just talk about their success in becoming the world's first gender neutral person. And that's where we will end this episode with Norrie. Uh, come back. There will be another episode. Still in chapter 1. This video just took the amount of time. Time's up. The amount of time that I've allotted for this video is up. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Did you learn anything new? Yeah, and God bless.